Hey guys, welcome to my Hulk Bible where I've compiled all the things I've learned along the way to Diamond. I got some newbie stuff, I got some advanced stuff, and I think you'll really enjoy the last two tips especially. So please enjoy, drop a like and subscribe as well, and I will see you throughout the video. Now, getting used to grabbing people out of the air with Hulk is admittedly pretty difficult, and so I highly recommend practicing on these robots. In the practice range, you can see that the arrow, so you hold space, right? You hold space to see your leap distance, and the arrow that's projected to the sky it'll stop on the target if it's being obstructed by an object that you can tackle out of the air. Another flashy thing to practice is using your projectiles from the air. It is hard to aim while you're mid-air, so it's worth practicing this in the practice range as well. Here you can see me hitting one on the way down with the damage and then stunning the other target just so they're immobile, and that target won't be able to hurt you while you take care of the other target first, and then you can turn your attention to the stun target. Don't forget this other practice area here where you can practice your projectiles. I mean, it really is useful, especially in those plays where enemies are scampering away from a distance and you pick them off like this. It feels really good and makes for some really flashy replays. Now, launching projectiles accurately mid-air is very difficult, like I said, and also not that practical. If you can do it in an easier way, you might as well do it the easier way, right? So in this example here, you can see that I'm launching the projectile first, basically from a standing position with a jump button held down and charged up. So you basically fire your first projectile, and then release your jump, and then while you're mid-air, launch your other projectile on your way down, and that's just an easier way to do it. Okay, so one really important thing about Hulk's stun to know is that you can cancel the stun's full duration with either your punch or your projectile ability, the damaging one. That will stop the stun early. Other than that, they'll be stunned for a good couple seconds there, and it's very useful. But it's very important to know that other teammates' abilities will not be effective or do damage to any enemy that you have stunned. Okay, one thing about Hulk's jump is that obviously you hold your jump button to get that long heroic leap, but you may not know that when you first hold it down, the distance is shorter than if you keep holding it down for a couple more seconds. So you can see here that the arrow it'll grow a couple meters. Another quick tip is to note that you can smack people in the head as you're jumping over them. Even though your character model is jumping like pretty high over their heads, you can just aim down and get shots off on them as you're flying over and secure a lot of kills this way, or at least do a little bit of damage. Try deleting low health enemies with your gamma burst as you're flying towards them, and then follow right up with a punch and just execute people. Here's an example of stunning one target and then attacking the other while it's incapacitated. And here's one more of the same situation. Okay, and here's an example of grounding an aerial unit and then going for a different target. We're going to get done with all this practice area stuff here in just a second, I promise, guys. Okay, I bet you didn't know this about Bruce Banner, is that his gamma grenade, if you throw it and you're in the explosion radius, it will charge your ultimate bar faster. It'll give you about 10 or 15 in a burst. So you can switch back to the Hulk faster. Very important to know. The second thing is that it will knock up both enemies and yourself. So obviously you can use it to kind of knock back enemies if they're coming at you, so you're safer in this weak state, or you can use it beneath your feet, which is what I recommend, and launch yourself away and also charge up that ult bar faster at the same time. And then in a perfect world, you know, maybe you throw it in the middle between you and the enemies, you're knocking them away. You're knocking yourself away from the enemies and you're charging your bar at the same time, plus doing a little bit of damage. Okay, this next tip is one of my personal favorite little things to do. And you know, you can use his ability that he can stick to a wall and kind of hide in sneaky spots, let the enemy pass underneath you, and then get the drop on them, fall down in their backline, try to get a kill on one of their strategists, and then just jump out. I think it'd be cool to get some sort of a funny clip where you have like a Spider-Man, a Hulk, a Venom, and like a Rocket hiding on a wall and then drop down together. Let me know in comments if you'd like to be part of that video. Okay, so as of right now, the heroes who you can cancel their ults by grabbing them out of the air with Hulk are Iron Man, Thor, Star-Lord, and Scarlet Witch. You just got to get them at the right time. You can see that I almost got this Iron Man to stop his maximum pulse. Unfortunately, didn't get him in time. But anyways, super awesome clippable plays whenever you pull these off. Remember on Hulk that one of the main things you're going to be doing is just kind of rotating, going in, using your shield to protect yourself, and then once you get below, say, about half health, you will prepare to jump out back to safety. You'll get healed up again. While you're getting healed up and waiting for your shield cooldown to come back up, you can launch out your projectiles if needed, and then you'll go back in, kind of disrupt the team, use your shield to protect yourself, and then just you can keep doing that loop forever until your Hulk smash comes up, and that's when things get really interesting. Remember that when you go down to your Bruce Banner form, you're obviously squishy, so just try to play around cover, stay around a healer, and honestly you can build back up to your Hulk form pretty darn fast, really not that long at all. And he's actually pretty useful in his little Hulk, Bruce Banner form as well. Hulk's bread and butter is his large mobility and his ability to use his jumps constantly with no cooldowns, and he can go very far, right? So you need to use this to get from situation to situation, to draw aggro, then get out to safety, then go to a different place and shield a group of allies, then jump somewhere else. You're constantly able to dictate the battlefield with his leaps. So this next one is huge. Remember that you can hold your jump and have it charged ready for you to escape a battle while you're punching, while you're shooting abilities, while you're using your shield ability. Basically, you should just keep it charged up so you can immediately long distance jump away to safety. Learn to recognize easy kills on heroes that have no mobility, like very low mobility, such as Mantis or Luna Snow. These heroes you can easily just chase punch down. Here you can see I'm going to save the point before we lose the game. I make it here way before all of my allies because Hulk is super fast, and the team has to deal with a Hulk who has ult, you know, so basically I have 2 or 3 health bars they have to chew through before they actually take care of me. And with your ult, you're super disruptive. You can launch people around with your punches and shield yourself and just survive a lot of stuff. So he is very good at just surviving. Okay, so let's go over your main Hulk combo from start to finish. Okay, so this is assuming you have your whole ultimate completely charged and you're in little Bruce Banner form. Okay, so you're gonna run in as Bruce Banner form, you're going to be shooting and throwing your grenade to get off what damage you can before you transform. And as soon as you see them draw aggro towards you, that's when you're going to transform into your regular Hulk form. And in regular Hulk form, you're going to shield yourself and or your team, and you're going to launch a stun on a particular enemy if needed. And you can also use your Gamma Burst if needed. And you're of course going to be punching things and getting off as much damage until your health is as low as you feel safe getting it down to. And that's when you'll transform into Hulk Smash, your larger Hulk. Now, in larger Hulk form, Hulk Smash, this is where you get to decide, are you going to play more defensively with this ultimate, or are you going to play more aggressively? I highly recommend using your Gamma Burst as soon as it's off cooldown, which allows you to get about 4 to 5 of those off during this duration. Gamma Burst in this form will travel through enemy units, so you can hit multiple enemy heroes, and it only takes 2 hits to kill a squishy when you're in this form. So keep shooting that. Try to line up multiple enemies with it. Shoot your stun and incapacitate an enemy or 2 if you want to. And obviously you have your punches, but remember your punches in this form will knock them up and send them flying. So it's kind of hard to get consistent damage off on a single target with your punches. So you're more so going to be just disrupting the enemy team, creating a huge nuisance, just disrupting whatever they're doing. And also, you have your World Breaker, which is the ability that grabs them and slams them onto the ground, disabling them for about 2 to 3 seconds, right? So I recommend using the World Breaker at the very end of your ultimate, because if you use it in the beginning of your ult or your middle, it's going to take up most of the time that you're in Hulk Smash form, and you won't be able to use any other abilities, really. So usually I use this at the end of Hulk Smash. If they're focusing you and you think you're going to run out of health, you don't want to be stuck there like deforming back into regular Hulk in the middle of their team if it's not safe. So it's usually better to have your jump charged and ready for you to dash out from the fight. Make sure that you've left the ground. That way you're traveling through the air as you're transforming towards your healers or somewhere else that's safe, right? Or you can just transform back to regular Hulk when the time runs up, and you'll have your shield ready, so you can immediately pop your shield when you're back in regular Hulk form, and this will give you a shield, and it will shield your team again or whoever's nearby you. And of course you'll be punching again, you can use your stun again, and you just keep doing damage, chasing down enemy targets, defending your allies, and eventually, if they keep focusing you, you will transform back down to regular Bruce Banner. But again, make sure you have your jump charged and ready so you can leave the ground jumping before you transform. Okay, so now you're back to square one. Your little Bruce Banner, you need to charge your ultimate bar again to get back to regular Hulk form. And by doing this, you're going to what? You're going to play safe around corners. You're going to be shooting at enemy tanks, usually is the easiest targets to hit to quickly charge your ult. And you're going to be throwing your grenade at enemies to knock them back if you're in danger, or you can just throw it at yourself to launch yourself to safety, or also just throw it at yourself to charge your bar faster. And once you have it charged up, you're going to transform back into the Hulk and just be using your shield to shield your allies, jumping in and just doing the same thing until your main ult is charged again. And then you're completely back to square one, and you just completely do this whole cycle over and over and over again. And you really should never die if you're doing it correctly, because you're always making sure you have a shield available, and you're always not really that easy to kill since you have all these transformations. All right, so here okay, so you can see here a match is just starting. I'm running in as Little Bruce Banner, I want to do some damage as Little Bruce Banner. This is risky, of course. You can skip this part. You don't have to do this, but it is fun. And honestly, it is kind of nice to get a little range damage off. If it's not safe enough for you to get up close and do physical damage, and your team doesn't need a tank immediately, you can do this. But it is skippable. As soon as they draw aggro on me, I transform. I use my shield for me and the team. Then I'm just kind of picking targets, chasing them down, punching. You'd be surprised how many tank kills you can get, even through a healer, if you have a little bit of help from your team, and you just keep punching them. Eventually, they will break. It happens a lot. And sometimes that's your only route, because if you have to choose between a tank or a squishy in the backline that has like mobility and escapes, then that's what you got to do sometimes. So we get the point secure here. You can see I used my shield needlessly on myself from the Thor there. Just got no value out of that. So you really want to make sure you use your shield in good situations, because the cooldown's pretty long and it's such an important skill for your kit. And we are just staggering the team here. They're not doing a good job pulling out and regrouping, so it is good to take advantage of that. If that's what they're going to do and let you just run their team over and punish them and stagger them, then that's what you got to do. There's a nice little grab on Doctor Strange. He's a nice big target, so he's pretty easy to grab when he goes up in the sky like that, and he's pretty slow up there, so always an option to grab him. Yeah, if Moon Knight doesn't have his grappling hook, he's pretty easy to chase down. Magneto's easy to chase down. Remember, your World Breaker gives you 30% damage reduction, so if you want to just soak up some damage for your team and kind of be the front line during your ult, then that is always a decent option. Alright guys, a few more things. Make sure that when you're in your Super Hulk Smash form, you're spamming your damage projectile into the enemy squishies, because you can kill them with 2 nicely landed shots. Make sure you're telling your team when you're diving in, just let them know, hey, I'm diving in with ult, you know, so they can follow up. It makes a huge difference. Don't forget you can use your stun to stop an enemy diver who's diving your tacticians, your healers, or your other squishies. It can give them a few seconds to back up, and it will make a huge difference. Also, Hulk's passive is great for Doctor Strange and Iron Man. They love it. And also, you don't have to do anything. You just have to exist. It's great. Also, consider planning to save your shield for when somebody like an enemy Moon Knight ults, or a Magneto, or an Iron Man, because you can potentially save like 3 or 4 squishies on your team just with your one shield. Remember to keep your team's morale up, give them little compliments, keep them stoked. It really does go a long way in keeping your team's mental together, and you will win more games this way. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. Do not diminish this little facet of life.
Yeah.
Nice.
Spray and pray.
Make sure you use your Hulk spray to send a message to the opposing team and strike fear into their hearts whenever they see the spray. They are going to know you mean business, guys. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this and got some value from this video. I really do. And if you have any questions about Hulk, let me know in comments and I will get back to you with the best answers I can. Other than that, please stay tuned for more videos, coaching videos, educational content, silly content, memes, whatever we got.